Hi, VencoreWeather.com meteorologist Paul Doreen here on Thursday, January 29th. A couple different systems will affect the Mid-Atlantic region with precipitation over the next several days. The first one is a clipper type of low pressure area that will affect the region late today, tonight into early Friday. It's also got Arctic air behind it. Very strong winds on Friday will usher in another very cold air mass. Could drop to the single digits in many parts of the Mid-Atlantic region tomorrow night into early Saturday. North of the Mason-Dixon line, this looks like a coating to an inch or so type of event from late today through tonight. Certainly, even with that minor amount of snow accumulations, there can be some slippery spots on the roads. The next system that will affect the Mid-Atlantic region will come later Sunday into Monday. That certainly has more potential, even the potential for several inches of snow accumulation up and down the I-95 corridor. Late Sunday into Monday, still many questions remain. There's still a chance that some mixture occurs in parts of the I-95 corridor, but the potential does exist for several inches of snow from late Sunday into Monday. Let's start off with a look at the latest nationwide radar map, because it shows already the precipitation or the moisture associated with these two different systems. First of all, over the Great Lakes, an area of precipitation here. This is primarily in the form of snow across the Great Lakes states, this area right in here, and down to the south this is mainly rain. There's some sleet mixed in. All of this will head to the east today, reach D.C. probably by about rush hour this evening, unfortunately, and probably in the form of a mixture of sleet and rain. Can have some slippery spots perhaps in the latter part of the D.C. rush hour later on today. For the most part, it'll come right after rush hour into southeastern Pennsylvania, and certainly after rush hour into New York, and primarily north of the Mason-Dixon line. They will see some snow, a coating to an inch or so possible this evening, and there can be some slick spots on the roadways associated with this clipper type of low. Meanwhile, out in the southwest, some moisture gathering out here in the southwestern part of the nation. In fact, this will produce some snow today in New Mexico, and especially tomorrow, later tonight and tomorrow. They could have significant snow in New Mexico. Why is this area important? Well, this treks across the middle part of the country by the early part of the weekend and heads right towards the Mid-Atlantic region for later Sunday into Monday, and there will be lots of cold air around, so therefore there is the potential for several inches of snow out of this later Sunday into Monday. Well, I thought we'd start off with the Canadian model for this first event, this clipper type of system, late today and tonight. Again, it's associated with an Arctic air mass behind it. There's a frontal system trailing this clipper low that moves over the Great Lakes region. This is the forecast map for the middle part of the afternoon, around 3 p.m. or so this afternoon, where blue represents snow, pink a mixed bag of sleet and freezing rain, and the greens and yellows typically rain. This is the D.C. region right here. Let's just walk through this on an hour-by-hour basis to see what happens here. Go ahead another hour or so, and here we go. Right in the D.C. region, late this afternoon, a mixture, perhaps sleet and rain. This looks like a reasonable forecast from this particular computer forecast model. Basically north of the Mason-Dixon line, all snow. Let's keep progressing another hour or two. Kind of winds down in only an hour or two of precipitation across the D.C. metro region. We are now into the early part of the evening, and snow is about to head into southeastern Pennsylvania. And there you go, some snow southeastern Pennsylvania, 7 or 8 o'clock tonight. Not even yet into the New York City metro region. So most likely the evening rush hour in Philadelphia and New York City will be unaffected. Perhaps some slippery spots at the end of the rush hour in the D.C. metro region with sleet and some rainfall as well. This continues to move through, and by about late tonight, most of it's over with in the I-95 corridor region between D.C. and New York City. And then tomorrow, we'll just keep progressing here. Now we're into early tomorrow morning, and notice these isobars tightening up here according to the Canadian model. This storm actually develops quite intensely, quite rapidly during the latter part of the overnight hours into the day on Friday, and end up producing quite a healthy snow accumulation up in the northern New England area where they don't need it. Places like Maine could get several inches of snow out of this. And notice with these isobars tightening here, we'll have some strong winds here in the I-95 corridor screaming out of the north, ushering in a very cold air mass, and tomorrow night temperatures could drop to the single digits in parts of the I-95 corridor. Get very strong winds on Friday into Friday night. Well, let's now shift gears and jump to the Sunday-Monday storm. Perhaps it will be a Super Bowl Sunday snow event here in the I-95 corridor. This is now using the GFS model. This is the upgraded NOAA GFS model from last night's 0Z run. This is the forecast map for Saturday evening. Lots of cold air in place here. This typically can be looked at upon as the freezing line in the lower part of the atmosphere, way down in the Carolinas. Lots of cold air entrenched here. Saturday will be a very cold day. High temperatures on Saturday will struggle to pass 20 degrees in much of the I-95 corridor. All this moisture out here in the southwestern U.S. Just getting ready to move to the north and east into the mid-Atlantic region by the latter part of Sunday into Monday. Could produce several inches of snow in parts of New Mexico, for example, later tonight and tomorrow. And then this area will be headed right into that cold air mass. Let's now jump ahead 12 hours. Here's the forecast map now for Sunday morning. Still dry here in the I-95 corridor Sunday morning, but notice a couple things here. Strong cold high pressure to the northwest here. That almost guarantees cold air will remain in place during this upcoming event, given this particular likely storm track, which is certainly still not set in stone. But notice all the moisture already starting to head into the western part of the mid-Atlantic region by Sunday morning. Let's now jump ahead 12 hours. Here we go. This is the Sunday evening forecast map right around Super Bowl time. High pressure to the north, high pressure to the northwest. That's typically a sign of cold air in the mid-Atlantic region that will stay in place. And here we go. A lot of the moisture starting to move in. It looks like anywhere maybe north of this line, all of this will be falling in the form of snow. Let's now jump ahead another 12 hours. And here's the forecast map for Monday morning. Here's low pressure right along the Virginia Capes here. According to last night's 0Z GFS model run, starting to get kind of a comma-shaped pattern to this precipitation field, typical on the northwest side of a low to have some significant snowfall. Notice this blue line here, the freezing line in the lower part of the atmosphere, still to the south and east of the I-95 corridor. This particular track by last night's GFS produces several inches of snow from D.C. to New York City late Sunday into Monday. Of course, not set in stone yet. We have a couple systems to watch over the next several days. By the way, brutal cold air will definitely affect the I-95 corridor, the Mid-Atlantic region, for much of next week. Not only behind this storm, let's say Monday night and Tuesday, but perhaps even colder during the second half of next week. So clipper type of system tonight that could produce a coating to an inch or so north of the Mason-Dixon line, even some wintry mix causing some slippery spots south of the Mason-Dixon line in the D.C. metro region, and then a more important storm with more moisture, more potential for late Sunday into Monday. That's it for now. For VencoreWeather.com, I'm meteorologist Paul Dorian.